6 Richmond suburbs that you are going to love when moving to Richmond. Or maybe you already live in Richmond and you're thinking, I'm going to buy a house. Where should I live? We're going to go over 6 of them. Of course, there's more than 6, but these ones we're just going to highlight today. My name is Liz Brown and I sell real estate in Richmond, Virginia. Thank you for watching my videos. Remember, I post one every Friday, and hit the bell so you know when the next one is posted. Subscribe, like, all the good things. Maybe even leave a comment. That'd be amazing too. Let's get right to it. Starting off the list, we have Lakeside. Lakeside is a neighborhood that's kind of north, a touch west of Richmond. And the good thing about it, it's really easy to get into the city if you happen to work downtown. It's also a great place for first-time home buyers. What does that even mean? Well, if you've never bought a house before, you would be a first-time home buyer. So it doesn't matter who you are, age, any of that. It's a great place for you to buy your first house. Number 2. Goochland and Powhatan. If you want to live a little further out, distance-wise from Richmond, but you still want to be able to work in Richmond or shop, dine, that sort of thing, both of these neighborhoods, they're really suburbs, they're not really neighborhoods, suburbs, they're outside of Richmond about 30 to 40 minutes. Now, they are great if you want to own chickens, maybe have a cow, maybe have some rabbits or goats. If you want a little space, say 2 to 5 acres, maybe even up to 40 acres, you're going to want to look in Powhatan and Goochland. Now, they are further away from downtown Richmond, so you're probably not going to go to dinner every night in Richmond and live out in Goochland and Powhatan. But there are people that talk to me and say, Liz, I want to be able to not see my neighbors. This is where you're going to want to look. Yes, it is a little bit more of a commute compared to, say, Lakeside, which is poof, you're in Richmond. You're not poof in Richmond if you're living in Goochland or Powhatan, but you are going to be able to have chickens and space and breathing room and maybe not hear the traffic that you can hear if you're living, say, in Lakeside. Number 3. We talked about first-time home buyers when we talked about Lakeside. Let's talk about another area that you may want to consider. Bon Air is in Chesterfield County. South of the river is another option. So again, Richmond, there's a river running through the middle of it. North of the river, south of the river, it is a thing. And south of the river, you're going to find this little neighborhood called Bon Air. It's a little north of Midlothian, which is a bigger area. And it has these homes. If you love a tri-level, oh, you're going to love Bon Air. It has that kind of small town feel. It has a Trader Joe's. It has one of those strip malls that doesn't look like a strip mall because they make it look like small town USA kind of. It's perfect if you like that sort of thing. And of course, if you like a Trader Joe's. There's also a Trader Joe's in Short Pump. We're going to get to that later on in the video, so stay tuned. So we're talking about Bon Air. Tri-levels are there. It's an easy commute again to Richmond. And first-time home buyers, the price point is going to be maybe a touch higher than, say, Lakeside or maybe South Chesterfield, but you never know. You might be able to find one that hasn't been redone yet that might fit in your first-time home buyer price range. Number 4, the best little neighborhood for city living at the same time, Ginter Park. So you have Richmond, and then you're going west out of the city, and it's just this little tiny pocket, Ginter Park and Bellevue, and they kind of look like this on a map. And this is if you want to come to Richmond and see what it was like maybe 80 years ago, maybe not quite 100 years ago, but the houses that are there have such charm and character that it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place to live. The streets are wide. You can walk to dinner, you can walk and get a coffee. There's just this kind of slower living, but it literally butts right up to the city, yet you can have a beautiful, charming house and walk to coffee on a Saturday. That's what Ginter Park and Bellevue are in my mind. It's so beautiful. And oh yeah, the food in Bellevue, there's a little street that runs down Bellevue. You've got to go check out the restaurants and the coffee there as well. Number 5 is the best area for growing families. What does that even mean, growing families? You could live anywhere in Richmond and it's going to be a lovely place to raise a family. But if you're going to research this topic, you're probably the 2 places that are going to pop up North of the river, we got Glen Allen. South of the river, we got Midlothian. Why? Because they set these places up so it is a little bit more family friendly. The schools, the neighborhoods, how they're all kind of set up are very family friendly in that some of the neighborhoods have HOAs, meaning that there is a pool, a tennis court, and everyone that lives in that neighborhood probably goes to the same school. So there's a nice community feel about it. There's a couple neighborhoods specifically that come to mind. If you're going to go Glen Allen, you're going to go a little west of it. You're going to have Wyndham. Wyndham has a beautiful country club. It has a pool. It has a huge neighborhood that surrounds it. That's one that pops into my mind. In Midlothian, there's neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood when you're going down the Robrius Road and Huguenot area, south of Bon Air, where you're going to find beautiful neighborhoods where you can comfortably walk your dog, walk your children, walk to school. Like, there's just, the way they have it set up is just so, there's no driving really anywhere, unless of course you have to drive to work. But with your family, everything is really close by, and you're going to feel that community feel that you may be looking for. Number 6, the last one, is Short Pump. There's a lot of talk about Short Pump because it literally has everything. When I was moving to Richmond from the Portland, Oregon area, when I looked it up on a map, it had everything I wanted. At the time, it had Nordstrom's, not anymore, I'm sorry, but it still has a great mall, and around that mall, there's anything you could want as far as shopping. It has the strip malls, it has the small shopping, it has the restaurants, it has, it has the chain restaurants, it has the small restaurants, it has literally everything you could want. The grocery stores on Broad Street alone, you name it, they've got it. So there's all the shopping right there, right down Broad Street, and it's the houses that are around it. It's just so convenient to everything. It is very suburbia, whatever that means to you, meaning that neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood, it's a little bit congested. Maybe on a Saturday afternoon when you're driving down Broad Street, there is going to be traffic. It is a busy area. So let's reference Goochland Powhatan, west side of the west side of Richmond. Some people live in Goochland and Powhatan and shop in Short Pump. So they drive 20 minutes, 30 minutes, however long it takes them to get there. So they don't necessarily live in Short Pump, but that's where they do all of their day-to-day task. That's exactly what I do, right? I drive into town when I want to go to the Wegmans. Love me some Wegmans. When I want to go to dinner. It's just that in my mind, I know it takes 20 minutes to get to the Wegmans or to get to the nice gym or to get to the mall. Something to consider. If you don't want to drive, then you're going to want to live right in Short Pump. And that is why Short Pump the cost of living there may be higher than maybe some of the other cities because of its convenience to Richmond and to all the conveniences that happen to be there. Remember, when you're picking a place to live in Richmond, I really recommend first coming and visiting if you're coming from out of state. If you live here, you probably already have a good feel for the city, but that's why actually going and looking at houses is really important. Because in your brain, you're like, I am living in this one place. And then when you go look at this one place, maybe it's not that one place. Maybe it's a different place altogether. So it is a really good idea to start driving around, seeing what the neighborhoods feel like to you, seeing what they look like in the morning, see what they look like in the evening, seeing where you're going to park your car, seeing what your neighbor is going to look like. Really take it in for you, because buying a house is a you thing. I can tell you all the things in the whole world, but what really matters and what I know what works for my clients, especially ones that are coming from out of town, is you fly in, and you spend a day or 2 or 3 really to get to know the area. Go get coffee, go eat, stay in a few different places. And by the time we meet, say you fly in on a Monday, by the time we meet on a Thursday and actually go look at houses, you really have narrowed down the areas of where you want to live, because you want different things than I'm ever going to want for you, because you know you when it comes to buying a house. I encourage you to explore all of these 6 areas that we talked about today, and we're going to talk about some more areas. So remember, like, subscribe, and leave a comment for me so I know that you watched the video. And I'm excited to meet you soon in the future. Feel free to reach out. Till then, thanks for watching.